It's coffee talk with ADIKA. Nothing rhymes with that but chicken tikka. We name drop here with Stefan and all his friends.
One, two, three, go. Thank you. Don't get wild. Don't get crazy. It's okay. I'm not cooking with the kid. I'm just Stefan ADIKA. That's all I do. I try to fix things. So I am live on the internet, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you very much. And I guess. But maybe the guest, Andy Scott, he probably fell asleep, but I sent him a link. Maybe he'll join us here and maybe not. But you know what? A surprise show. Patreon people, I figured you were with me. You saw me stumbling. You saw me by myself. This is special. It's 6:29 a.m. It is February 16th. I hope everybody's doing well. It's a off-the-cuff type of show, but I could see the chat. I see it. Renee's here cooking with the kid. I see you guys. Debbie Mull, I see her laughing and having a good time over there. As always, Debbie, thank you very much. At least I get to see you here, and we get to talk a little bit, everybody. Thank you for being in the chat. You guys are all looking good, all looking handsome over here. That's right. Zandra, there she is. Zandra's all very, very happy flashbacks to some bad 80s movie. Meet me in the schoolyard at 3 and we'll settle this one and for all. That's right. Well, it's good to see everybody here. I hope everybody's feeling good, and let's keep it positive. Let's keep it lovable. I'm kind of whispering because the house is still sleeping and I'm up. I woke up at 5:30. We're supposed to have the legendary Andy Scott of Sweet in the house, but he's in England. And he had 2 different emails, and I sent him everything. So maybe Andy missed the memo, but he'll be back. You know why? Because the show is very, very good and really good stuff. So anyway, I spent all night editing. Let me fix the internet, make sure we're okay. I see the internet's being a little wacky here. We don't want that. We want to be beautiful for you because I'm handsome. Okay, so let's try to fix the internet here. Hopefully the internet gods are working with me. Please work with me, okay? Let me shut some of these windows off over here, and I'm keeping my eye over here on the right side. Why? Maybe Andy's going to jump on over here. Okay, shut too many windows. Can't have too many windows, okay? Debbie Muller, thank you so much. Nobody's kicking out my super chat today. You know what? Thank you. Mwah. Love you. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for just being here, and for the other people who can't afford to support or who just maybe have alligator arms, don't want to. It's okay. I appreciate it. I'm just glad you're here. And if you do have alligator arms, well, just bend over there. Give me a thumbs up like that. Okay. And maybe type like this and share it with somebody who's going to enjoy it as much as you're doing it. You don't have the super chats. Don't worry about it. Trust me, sometimes I go to a restaurant and I don't want to tip myself, I'm a little Jewish, but I appreciate everything. If you could just share this out, give me a thumbs up and a heart, then I'm doing a good job. That's good. And for you guys with no alligator arms, and thank you very much for the super chat. I love you guys, okay? Love you guys. Okay. All righty. So that's Blue in the back over there. I might have to let him go potty. But anyway, you know what? Let me tell you guys something. I had a wonderful guest yesterday, and his name was George Chakiris. And George, to me, is a legend. West Side Story is one of the fabulous, greatest films ever made. It was originally a Broadway show. And if you guys are not familiar with it, well, you got to see it. I did not see the new one. I know nothing about the new one. But I found out yesterday that Elvis Presley was considered to play the role as Tony in West Side Story. And so was Audrey Hepburn. Pretty wild. Also, other people were offered the role. But the funny thing with Elvis Presley, the Colonel did not want Elvis to play the role. He felt like he didn't want him to be with the switchblade and like a hoodlum dead in the street, which is a little weird because if you recall Elvis's first film, Love Me Tender, he did die at the end. But the interview was great. And at 7 o'clock this morning, you're going to see part one. But I could share you part two because on part two, we talk about more stuff. In the beginning, George and I were talking about some of West Side Story, somehow we got into it all, the acting. But later, did you know George also lived in around 1967? He lived in the Sharon Tate house on Cielo Drive a couple of years before the murder. How crazy was that? It was really a wonderful interview. The whole interview, if you're in Patreon, please watch it. I'm not editing it. It's uncut, unfiltered, and you see me stumbling, but it's a great interview. And on YouTube, I'll do bits and pieces of it. But it was crazy. It was crazy. But Debbie says it was the best. It really was a great interview. It really was. And let's see what else. Yeah, I couldn't believe when he talked about the Sharon Tate, but he's such a lovely guy. Let me see if I could get you some of this up here really quick as well. All right. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. I'll share the screen. Let's see if we could get some of. Because this morning at 7, you got to watch it. It's great. Let's see. Video. Where's George? Let's find it over here. I'm not prepared right now. I wasn't even going to go live right now with you guys. This is all last. I think this is it right here. Okay. And then we got Mike Reno from Loverboy. He's over there too on Patreon. So check that out. I have to edit that one out too. Mike's going on the road, but I'll show you guys some stuff. And you also there's me and George. But let's get to some of the good parts over here. Oh, I just got an email from Kenny Vance. There it is, Kenny Vance. All right, hold on.
Living room. And so when I got to New York, these two girls, one of them worked for Roger Stevens, who was a huge.
Let's get to the good part. I want to get you some good part. We talk about Elvis. You'll see it.
It's all going so fast. I thought.
Let's see.
Yeah, but look how he dealt with it. He's so beautiful in this film. The last scene with.
Here to say that in Greece.
That's possible. Sure. Yeah.
I'm actually friends. I'm giving him a shout out. If you're watching this, I'm sending to you Barry Pearl. He played Duty in the movie Grease. He's a good friend of mine, and then he was in the Broadway. Actually, and I got a chance to see. I look the same. I know Renee. I'm wearing the same outfit. I used to go, and last time we spoke, because I was big into going to the theaters. I talked about one of my favorite actors. I saw Death Trap. He was on Death Trap. Farley Granger. Remember we were talking back and forth.
Yes.
And one of my. Let's get to the part we talked about the Sharon Tate house.
Really, yes, yeah.
And then when we get older, we could reminisce. No sense. I don't know what the logic with the Colonel was, but Academy of Elvis, and then you left the mystery of George Chakiris. So like, who is this guy? You know, there he goes.
Well, people said,
but I guess that's what's good about those stories and the pictures, and you know, at least everything you have is documented. You know, it's there. Because, but you're sitting in the audience right there. You got okay. Here's what we're talking about: the Academy Award, 1961. He won the Academy Award for West Side Story, and George C. Scott, Jackie Gleason, they were nominated for the movie The Hustler, which is a great movie about Minnesota Fats. If nobody's seen it, thank you, Cooking with the Kid. Thank you for the frustration this morning. Thanks for the hard work you put in, my friend. Get some rest. Thank you very much for the super chat. It's all right. You know what? I enjoy doing this. So I'm just glad you guys are getting something out of this and I could share this. So this is the moment where he talks about the Academy Award. And he's about 24, in his mid-20s here. Let's listen to this. He wasn't prepared to even win. Cliff, Falk, Gleason, George C. Scott, all these big names. Everybody's thinking, you know, you could see a camera. Bob Hope brings out the presenter, Shirley Jones. She comes out. She does this speech. You're sitting there looking handsome, debonair, like James Bond, just everything perfect. It's true. You look the perfect movie star. You're over there, and then they call your name. What was going through your head at that moment when they called your name out?
I'm not sure what was going through my head, but the way I've sometimes thought about it.
He's in his 80s, George. How good does he look, everybody?
Was if you buy a lottery ticket, you don't expect to win, but somewhere you kind of hope you might. I guess it's something like that. You know, I really didn't expect anything. And so when it happened, it was like, wow. And you're kind of in a daze, you know, when you walk from your seat to the stage,
The longest
Yeah.
walk it must have felt, right? For a second, just like walking on a
Yeah.
cloud.
Yeah, and then just even saying thank you. I had no
Yeah, no,
speech
it was very
prepared.
short, your speech. I
It
was
was really,
watching.
yeah, Rita's was very short too.
Yeah.
Both of us had really short responses. I mean, now everybody, people have learned to do something different, you know.
Oh, it'll be long forever. But
Yeah.
you did you write a speech or you didn't write a speech?
No, I
Nothing.
didn't. No,
Or
no.
you weren't even, so you just went in there. We're going to go sit down, represent, and get out. That's it.
Yes, more or less.
That
Right.
more,
Yeah.
it's so cool. But you know
Yeah.
what? Your short speech works because I watched yesterday again. I watched it about 20 times already,
Yeah.
but it worked. It's you're leaving a mystery because
Yeah.
you're pretty a shy gentleman. You're
Yeah.
quiet,
Yeah.
you're humble, but you're such a
Yeah.
sweet guy too. I feel like I
Well,
feel like I have a great friend here. And but but it was so perfect because you didn't say too much, you didn't reveal too much.
yeah.
You left the mystery of George Chakiris. So out there, like, who is this guy? You know, there he
Yeah.
goes.
Well, you know, people said, is there something you wish you had done differently? And there are a couple of things. One is to thank Jerry Robbins, because I've always thought, and I don't mind saying this now, to me, because Jerry created this piece. Jerry created this piece for the theater with other people, but it was him. And so I've always thought the heart and soul of this piece is thanks to Jerry, his direction, his choreography, his presence. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good to have that there. It helped
Yeah,
you with your way.
it really was. Yeah.
It really did, huh? Your first phone call when you left after you got I'm sure you have the Academy Award. You keep it by you.
Yeah.
It's on display, huh?
Yeah.
So cool. Is it heavy? Is it
They're pretty heavy. Yeah.
They are pretty heavy, huh?
They feel good.
Oh, I'm sure it does. I mean, what did West Side Story? 10 Academy Awards, was it? Was it 10?
Yes. It was
10
nominated
Academy
for
Awards.
11. I think it got 10. The one that it didn't get that I wish it had gotten was for Ernest Lehman for the screenplay, because it was such a great screenplay.
Really? Yeah, it really was. I bet you the Colonel and Elvis, they're kicking themselves in the rear going, you know what? You know, Colonel, I don't know what went on over there, Colonel. You should have got me the pot.
Just mentioning Elvis in our conversation, what a different film it might have been if Elvis had been in it. That would have changed a lot.
If you think about it, now we go a little Twilight Zone. If you think about it, if we went back in time,
he would have been wonderful.
He was great in Love Me Tender. In Love Me Tender, he was great. He had that James Dean type of character.
Absolutely.
He dies at the end, and the Colonel didn't want him dying at the end. It made no sense. I don't know what the logic with the Colonel was, but Academy Elvis in an Academy Award, it would have changed his career.
Yeah.
But one film he was supposed to take, which I think he passed away, was Star Is Born with Barbara Streisand.
Oh, okay.
He was going to take that role, which is
I think. Listen, I don't know anything, but from what I've heard, it was she who wanted him for that film.
You're right,
and it was a great idea, but he didn't do it.
He didn't do it for whatever reason. Then he passed away. But what a turn in career! It would have changed. Now after West Side Story, how different was your life? Academy Award. Now were you getting? What a great interview this is, everybody. And you know what? I got to tell you something. Just talking to him, and we're having a conversation, and that's the legendary George Chakiris. If nobody knows who that is, he played Bernardo in West Side Story, and George has a book out, and he's a lovely gentleman. This is his book. I actually bought the book. It's a little blurry because I have the blur in the back to make me look cool like all the hipsters. But this is his book, My West Side Story. It's a memoir with George Chakiris right there, and Rita Moreno, she does the notes over there. But it's such a fabulous book, everybody. It really is. Oh, there it is. That's better. And it talks about his career, Marilyn Monroe, where he's dancing. You could see him being one of the dances. Gentlemen prefer blonde, and there's no business like show business. And there's great stories in here. Talks about how he played Riff on the London production, because it was on stage in the London theaters, and he was Riff. Pretty wild. I can never picture him as Riff. But anyway, this wonderful show. And let's see. Oh, we got friends here. Oh, God bless you. That's right. God bless you all, everyone. And remember, people, when people are rude to you just because they're having a bad day, don't let them ruin your good day. Just block them, delete them. Don't even pay attention. Don't even pay attention, but it's all good. And don't even acknowledge it. You know why? Gary Vee says it best. There got to be something really wrong with somebody if they want to come in there and spend the time to share the hate. Maybe they were, bullied in school. Maybe they were like made fun of, maybe they had like maybe a crooked eye, and the kids bullied them. And it's not their fault that they're miserable losers. I'm sure at one time in their life, they wanted to be held. They wanted to be loved. I feel for them. And you should feel for them too. So give them the love. Give them the shout back out. At least they spent the time to write something, right? It's a lot easier to love somebody than to hate. Okay. But anyway, all right, everybody. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, let's see. I don't want to, let them watch the show. At least we're getting the views, right? Okay. I got other stuff here. Really quick. Hold on. Let's go over here. Let's fix this. I had to, just address it, it made me. Okay. Let's see. All righty. All right. Now let's go back. This is a great one. In the movies, I was just going to go share something with you because it's 6:45. And just remember, we're going live at 6:45, part 1 with George. And I want to share this with you. But in this book, this is incredible. 1947 was his first film all the way to 2020. I mean, he's been on the Carol Burnett show, the Andy Williams show. He's the last Partridge Family episode ever. He plays Shirley Jones' love interest, and that was the last one, and it's a great one. But his stories are so cool, and I don't want to give it away. He talks about just Marilyn Monroe. He talks about there's so much to talk about. It's supposed to be a 30-minute interview. It ended up being an hour and a half. It's in Patreon. Go check it out. It's there. I'll show some of it here. He even has the wristband back from the costume. He still has that, which is awesome. I do love these stories, and they're real. And behind me, I have the vinyl record. But just what an entertainer. One of the best. He said Marilyn Monroe was actually very shy. He has a funny story about her, which somebody probably seen it out there. But really quick, let's see right here. Before we get out of here, everybody, I want to make sure that my internet's good. Let's go back. Let's watch a little more, George. I'll share with you. What the heck? It's would people knocking on your door because you did Diamond Head afterwards, right? With Diamond Head after.
The first movie I did was a movie called Flight from Ashia with Yul Brynner and Richard Widmark.
Yul Brynner.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I'll tell you what. While we hadn't finished working on the film, and the Mirrors Company signed me to a 3-picture deal. I thought, well, isn't that nice? I'll have another job. But so West Side just changed everything for me.
It changed everything. That's what I was going to ask you. I went sideways really quick. Who was the first person you called right after you won? Did you have?
Wow! I don't know.
You don't remember your parents or?
I don't remember. Probably nobody.
Nobody. You couldn't believe it, huh? Because back then we had no cell phones. There was no cell phone.
Yeah.
You go to a payphone, like.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, it's so cool. I love talking to you about this because is that the Oscar they gave you at the show and you walk away with that one, or they send you one later on?
Let's see. I think what happened at that, because there's the additional thing where your name is etched into all the information, and I think you had to leave it with them for a few days to do that. I think. Oh,
okay. The engraving or whatever they had to do.
Because in other words, nothing was taken for. One of the beautiful things I've been asked about before. Did you ever know before it happened that you were going to win? Of course not. The Academy Awards are really done in a very beautiful, very specific, very strict way. The only people who know anything are the people who probably handle things. But so my point is that they couldn't, the night of, you don't know until it happens, who's going to walk away with one. So you can't engrave it. You know, maybe they can do it fast now. I don't know. But in those days, you didn't walk away. I had it at the table at the governor's ball afterwards, but somehow it seems to me that they had to take it back for a amount of time to just put the information on it. I think
it's so cool. How about the after party? Now you're meeting. Now you're there. You're an Academy Award winner, and you're meeting. You could see at the party the people that, as you as a kid, did you see the people like, wow, I'm with the people now? They're my peers. It's like here I am with people who I used to watch as a child.
Yeah.
You're seeing all these people there. How do you remember anybody having a conversation at the Academy Awards with that one person? Like, wow.
Well, you know what that takes me back to, because as a chorus dancer, we got to be around some pretty incredible people. And so I was being around famous people. I guess I knew it was a great evening and beautiful and wonderful for Rita and myself. But I didn't think in those terms. I just knew, in a haze kind of way, knew that something really
It was a haze. Isn't it fun?
Yeah.
What's that expression? Being it's wasted on the youth. They'll say like when you're older. What's the expression I'm thinking of? Young is wasted on the youth. I forget what it is. There's a saying. What's the saying, George?
Okay.
I forget. You know what I'm saying.
I know. I know. I can't think of it either, but I do know what you mean.
But like when you're young, you don't realize it.
Oh, youth is wasted on the young.
Yeah, youth is. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's such a. I used to think that was the ridiculous thing in the world. You know, who made this up? And now being older, I'm thinking to myself, this was really a fun interview for me, everybody.
Because you're right. It's impossible for a young person to get any of that. Yeah.
You don't know the roads where they're going to lead you in life. And it's almost, you're just driving down these freeways and there's an exit ramp. Let's go over here for a second, do a pit stop, get some gas and go. But what a great life. Now, you know what? I know I'm supposed to only be at 30 minutes. I'm killing you right now. I'm sorry, but really, I'll wrap this up really quick. Okay. I got to ask you something. There's a place I was reading about, and correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. So you won the Academy, you're enjoying your life. Everything is great. There was a tragic event on August 9th, 1969 that everybody remembers. Now, do you know, does everybody know where I'm going with this right now? August 9th, that was the famous Manson murders where Sharon Tate was murdered, and George actually lived in the house a couple of years before, in that exact house where she was murdered. And here's what George has to say about that. Sharon Tate house, it was on CLL Drive. It was 150 CLL Drive, I think it was. Awful. The house was originally owned by the producer Terry Melcher, who did a lot of the Beach Boys records. Doris Day, I think. Doris Day's son. That's right. And it was his house. And then I guess Sharon Tate and Roman Polanski were renting the house. Now, did you ever? Was it rumored that you lived there? Not with them, but at that address ever? That house was built by a French actress, Michelle Morgan, Morgan, in which it's in your book. You talk about this too. Yeah, because she had a Hollywood career as well, and so she built. There was the main house, and then a pool, and then there was a guest house in the back. And I rented the guest house to begin with. Henry Fonda had been in that guest house just before me. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, and he was an artist. He was a painter. I remember there was a still life. It was still on an easel. So I rented the guest house, and then the main house came available. I can't remember how that happened. And when it did, I moved into the bigger house. It was really too big for me, and I used to check the closets every night to make sure no one was in the house. You know, was it really? I'm like that guy too. I'll check double lock. It was too big. Yeah. It was a lot. You know what, everybody? It is what stories Debbie says. It really is, and Renee goes part 2. It was eerie. Well, the full episode's in Patreon, but I will edit part 2 and put that in there. And I hope I make it exciting for some, and some who don't find it exciting. What can I do? I'm just a guy on YouTube trying to bring these great stories, and I appreciate you guys. It is 6:52 a.m. I want you guys stay tuned at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. My interview with George is coming on, and please watch it and give me your feedback in the comments afterwards. It was a wonderful interview, and I actually got an email from George I want to share with you, because as a kid growing up, West Side Story is very important in my life. And It was one of my favorite shows. And I truly believe if it wasn't for West Side Story, you wouldn't have Grease if you think about it. But George actually sent me an email right over here, if you could see that. And he wrote, "Hello, Stefan. I wanted to thank you for a really nice time. I very much appreciated our conversation. All the best, George." And that made me really happy. I got that about 1:45 last night while I was editing George. So that was a wonderful thing. And thank you very much. There's my buddy Rob Ayazi. Rob, good to see you. You just missed it. We're talking about George Chakiris living in the Sharon Tate home right here. Let me share this with Rob.
So
watch this, son. That's right. And what's the saying, George?
okay.
I forgot. Did you ever? Was it rumored that you lived there? Not with them, but at that address ever?
That house was built by a French actress, Michel Morgan.
Just to rewind it, he's talking about he lived in the Sharon Tate home a year or two before the murders, and that's what George is telling us right now.
Morgan.
And which it's in your book. You talk about this
yeah,
too.
because she had a Hollywood career as well.
And for people tuning in, this is George Chakiris. I can't even speak right now. George Chakiris from West Side Story. This is his book, and he's talking about his stories. He was Bernardo in West Side Story. So he's talking about living in the Sharon Tate home before the murders.
So she built. There was the main house, and then a pool, and then there was a guest house in the back. And I rented the guest house to begin with. Henry Fonda had been in that guest house just before me.
I didn't know Henry Fonda lived there.
And he was an artist. He was a painter. I remember there was a still life. It was still on an easel. So I rented the guest house, and then the main house came available. I can't remember how that happened. And when it did, I moved into the bigger house. It was really too big for me, and I used to check the closets every night to make sure no one was in the house.
Was it really? I'm like that guy too. I'll check double lock.
It was too big. Yeah. It was a lovely place. Yeah. So I lived there for, I guess, close to 2 years. I can't remember. I guess I was doing a lot of traveling and spending time in other parts of the world. So I left that house. And,
what year were you living? Do you remember offhand what year that was that you were living there? The house?
Well, I was there 66, 67, 68, something like that.
Around there. Okay.
Yeah, between the guest house and the main house. And the way I got the horrible news, I was sitting with a friend of mine, Charlotte Starbird, who had helped me, who had done wardrobe for me on some, Vegas appearances and things like that. She was a good friend, and I was visiting her, and the news was on. And we were listening to the news, and then we hear this, and then there was a helicopter shot of the house, and that's when I recognized that house. I can't tell you how horrible it was to see that. It was just awful. And I remember thinking, if there was any kind of a posse of who could find these people, they would have been dead on the spot. It was the outrage in the city everywhere was just phenomenal. Jay Sebring was. I used to go to Jay for my hair. He was incredible.
You were friends? Okay, so that is the episode that I got to speak with, and we'll be airing that. I'll share that with you guys. But if you want to see the full episode, it's in Patreon. I just wanted to share that really quick with you. Right now it's 7 a.m. It's 6:56 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Please tune in. Click on, make sure you hit the bell to be reminded when we're on, because at 7 a.m. sharp, my interview with George is coming on, and I want you guys to watch it, and please share it out, subscribe, and make sure Artist on Record, ADIKA Live, head on to our sister channel. You can find the links in the description. Click on that, subscribe. And if you guys want to be a part of our vinyl game show, I have a website, adikalive.com. You can contact me there, and it'll be info@adikalive.com. Put your Venmo information in there, your email, your address. I'll be picking people's names out of a hat to bring you on our show. You don't even have to be a patron to be on our show. And I'm giving away prizes. I'm going to Venmo some money for a different game show. The first Saturday of each month, we're doing the vinyl showdown. So if you have a vinyl collection you want to share with us, Bring it on over. And then we'll play Name That Tune and some other great stuff. Always trying to improve our channel, always trying to entertain you guys with great stories. I appreciate the support. And all joking aside, for you alligator arm people over there, at least you got something, right? Share it out for me, okay? And for the negative Nellies out there, at least you're typing some stuff and you're watching, because you must be enjoying me somehow, right? Because how could you not? I am pretty handsome. And hey, you know what? Don't be a hater. Don't hate the lover, okay? I love you guys, all righty? And it's easy, too easy to hate. Give somebody a hug. Give them a kiss. Don't be Sonny Corleone. Look where it got him. He tried to go take care of business. He never got there. Right, Debbie Muller? We gotta be Zen. Always be Michael Corleone. And of course, nobody wants to be Fredo. Poor Fredo. All righty. But anyway, 7 a.m. It's about to start. Click, watch it, subscribe. Tell me how much you love today's spontaneous show. And should I do more of these shows? Come on more in the morning. If you're going to be here 6 a.m. with me, I'd come on, but I need to hear it from you. Okay. Without you, there's no show. Everybody, I will see you in a couple of minutes. Until then, we love you. And remember, who loves you, baby? We do. Mwah. Bam.
It's coffee talk with the Tika. Nothing rhymes with that but chicken tikka. We name drop here. We're Stefan and all his friends.
And for more George Chakiris and his memoir stories of West Side Story, click on this box right there, kids. You're not going to want to miss it. All righty? Now get out of here, you crazy kids, and watch the episode. Bye.